So I am Chandra Potential, a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm working this moment in London and Brighton and also in Czech Republic. And today we will talk about the mindfulness. We have a couple of topics about the factors around what mindfulness is. So the first one is about the perception. Perception when we were a child. So when we didn't have any awareness about what does it mean that this is bad and this is good. So we didn't have this dualism of these two sides. So everything that came to us, it was some came. And then we had a big excitement in us, and then when something was there, so some candies or the games. So then we were able to be very excited into it. And that's mindfulness. Because we didn't have anything in our minds, only thoughts about what's going to be in the future, what is my past experience, the being and the present moment. And that excitement is basically about it, because there's no judgments. There's nothing like that we think, why this person coming to me and giving me some kindness? So there's nothing like that, because we always had the feeling that everything that is coming, you have to use it. And that was king. And then in other words, when we change the perception, because we can come back to this home. I'm saying that the home is something that we feel inside, our inner source. And that's basically how we have to learn again. That's why the mindfulness come to the world again. Mindfulness basically came from East philosophies, because they are practicing meditation. But it's not necessary, because on the end, this is only about the view. So which means that you can use any tool. Meditation is one of these tools, but it's not necessary. You can sit on the park and practicing the mindfulness just by sitting, you can close your eyes and listen. For example, listen every sound in the air. And that's something powerful. This is basically the foundation. But the other thing, what we will try to talk about this now, is how we can use it now, practically, and workplace, how we can use it in personal life. I'm sure that we will not be able to cover all these situations, but mindfulness is mainly about inspiration. If there will be something that you will be inspired, just one thing, will not be enough. Because this is how you can step into the wave of this calmness of the ocean. Question? No. And that's nice because we have to. I'm not saying we have to, because in the state of openness is everything possible. Yeah. But when you see, for example, the kids how they're playing, and they're playing games, how they are very spontaneous. This is what we can see, we inspire. We should be also spontaneous in each time. And there is no difference between that we are tennis sport and we are sport. Because in our nature, we are very highly spontaneous beings. We can be. When you are creating that world and you learned that this is white, this is yellow, so this person this is your friend, this person is not your friend. That's how the conflict of the inner self comes to us. And from a different perspective, what is the argument nowadays that we have to be protected? Yeah, but when you really understand what mindfulness is, so that mindfulness is not made. Mindfulness is not nothing like that you will approach some danger situation because you think that you are very powerful. In your nature, when you're born, you know what is good and what is bad. So there's no need to learn what is bad and what is good, because you know it. Right? And what I'm saying that in yourself you are perfect being.
Everyone. You mean everyone?
Yeah.
When they come towards, they know what is bad, what is good.
Yeah.
But why people doing bad things if they know that it's bad?
Because they are learning. They are learning. This is basically what is happening afterwards. That they are in some situation. They are learning some terrible things. Yeah, but always the motivation of always the ways what people are choosing is the way to come home. Because when people are doing these things, so then they are looking for something. At the beginning, they are looking, for example, for love. Afterwards, they are very desperate. But the first motivation, why they did it? Because they wanted some attention. They didn't get enough attention when they were younger. Yeah. So again, this is accumulation. Yeah. But when you go to the age less than 10, so you are very spontaneous being. Yeah, and you are discovering the world, and every game is so exciting. Yeah. So, and after that we are learning because we made these limitations. We made this, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that this is how we identify ourselves, these limitations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that we have to change it. I'm saying that everything starts at our will.
Mm-hmm.
Through our will, we can have everything how it is right now, but we will have more joy, You're gonna have more calmness in your hearts. Yeah? Make sense? Okay, so the next is what is mindfulness. So how it is explained in dictionaries, that the mindfulness means maintaining a moment by moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment. Mindfulness also involves acceptance, meaning that we pay attention to our thoughts and feelings without judging them. So this is how it is explained. When you really tap into the essence of mindfulness, you will recognize that some words has different meaning. So which means that when you say now judgment, so you can imagine some court where there's somebody who is judging someone for his deeds. Yeah, but it's different. Judgment is also based on the identification, that we are identified with something. But this identification is coming from our experiences. Because we had something similar in the past. So then we identify now ourselves with this situation, and that's how we are creating the feelings. But when you will empty your mind, and you will change this perception, it is change. Because with empty mind, and the meditation is very good to reach this state. With empty mind, there's nothing, no past, no future. There's no past, no future. So we can see what is happening in front of us. We can see that these images, simple images, there are some games. They are there, but we are not here to judge it. Because once we will judge what we see, so then we have the boxes. So we're gonna put this situation into one box, but what is missing is the unlimited potential. Because every situation what we see happening because it's a mirror of our mind. Yeah, and we basically try to make some formula of it. But when your mind is empty, then your conscience is much wider. The main idea is that in yourself you are perfect with unlimited mind, unlimited potential. But the thing is also, the other thing which is connected to it is that your mind is space. And your mind is space. There's no beginning, no ending. There's no beginning of your emotion, no ending. You can basically choose what emotion is best. You can choose how you will feel. You can choose whether what you see is something great or not. It's your choice, because you are creator of your world. That's very powerful when you realize inside that this is based on your choice. There is nothing what has influence on you. It's nothing like that. When people says, he did this and I was angry because of that. No, it was your choice. You can be calm, you can be really happy, you can have a lot of joy in you because you are connected with the source. And there's no bad influence. You cannot blame others and say, he did this, he caused that. No, he didn't. It is his responsibility what he did. It is everything what he did is based on his choice, not yours. You can choose that what is more effective for you, whether you will feel great or you will feel bad. But obviously, it's good to feel great. So the next topic is everyone is teachers. Although they live our own illusion with empty mind, everything turning into teaching. This is what also the Lama said, who is that? So he said basically the same thing, that everyone coming to you, how you can, that's my explanation, how you can keep your door open to be really in this openness. That you will change your view on the person in front of you and what he is coming with. And you will realize that he is teaching. That's something that you can identify. You can say, okay, teaching, okay, I was in the school and there were teachers, they were always talking about something. No, that's different. Teaching from others, it's not necessary to take it literally. But when you see what is his motivation, when you see the motivation, why he is saying what he is saying. So then you realize that in him is a lot of love, for example. You realize that he's coming with something very nice. No matter what it is. But when you are open, you can add something really nice to it. Because together we can be very powerful. Yeah. And that basically what teaching is. It's not about that. It's not about somebody telling something and I have to learn. Yeah, I'm learning through the compassion. I'm learning through the love. Yeah? Understand? So, and he's talking, so then I saw some very nice situations when somebody was talking, that the other person came to him and he hugged him. And then they became in unity. But sometimes people, they have some, let's say, negative feelings. Could be. It's good to, for example, ask them, why do you think this? Because when you will see the motivation, you can learn. So you can approach to this information from different angles of views. Yeah. So but probably till now it's very hard to see all these details, see what is doing. But when you practice in the mindfulness, you are basically extending your conscious. Yeah, so you will be able afterwards gradually to feel and see more details or feel more. So because you're sitting conscious, you're aware more. So when you sit somewhere and you are listening and you are basically in yourself, so then you are more able to, through that exercise, after that feel more. Because the mind, or not the mind, the conscious is wider. Yeah. And that's very, very interesting because when you look at something and focus, when you practice in the mindfulness, you will probably, that's the example, you will be able to see all this in this angle, for example. And you can be focused on that point. What is happening here? You are able in normal state to register by your subconscious. But with your conscious, with mindfulness, you will be more able to see it, to register it consciously, to be aware of it. The same with feelings. Feelings are very, very powerful. So when you feel it at the beginning, it's something very, very, not very simple. But when you practice in mindfulness, later it will be more powerful, it will be more powerful. Yeah, and you will feel those feelings, whether they are good or bad, probably more times. So you will be able to see your feelings in the position of someone who is looking at some movie. Because that's the goal. To change the world in front of you at some movie. That you can look at the screen, you can have very good, comfortable sitting, and you can watch it. And that's up to you which movie you will choose. Yeah. So if you don't like this movie, so you can remote, you can check the movie. Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah.
The next one is about empty mind. It's very important to have empty mind, but what doesn't mean empty mind when you don't have the thoughts. Well, that's a little bit tricky, because when you don't have thoughts, some people they can say, or they can try to force their mind to do not have the thoughts, to have the thoughts. That's wrong, because when you're putting some force on it, and when somebody says ignore your thoughts or ignore your emotions, this is basically that the other person will try to ignore it, but it's not force. It should disappear very nature.
Mm-hmm.
All these thoughts. It's not like if you will try, not like that. Yeah. So, and how you can do it, you can start with that you will try to watch them. I would say try, but without words. If you're not able, but if you will be able, just once, one thought to see it without identification, good. Because next time you will be able to watch two thoughts. But how you can do it, the good exercise is when you are breathing. You're counting your breath. 1, 2. And when some thoughts is in your mind, just focus on it. That's how, after a while, you can dissolve these thoughts. Just 1 and 2. And that's how you can, your mind can learn how to enter your mind. Because when you will do it with the force, then you will try just, no thoughts. So that's how you're putting the energy into it. And that's how you will basically have more thoughts afterwards. Because it's about energy. Same with emotions. When you're emotional, you identify with the emotion, you put in the energy to it, doesn't mean that it will be calm. It means that it will be, again, not more powerful, and you will not have the control over them. Yeah? Makes sense? Good. Yes, separation. Remove the separation, best way how to lose the borders. The separation is that subconsciously how we feel when something is around us that I'm here and somebody else is here. There's an idea that we are separate. What does it mean? I'm separate. We are separate. My body, this body. But we are separate in mind, because I told you, when you choose really, it's up to you how you will feel. But at the same time, you can use, for example, the tool. And the tool is that you will think that the person in front of you is your mirror. So next topic is ego. Ego is not enemy when you know how your mind works. So about ego. Basically the ego is something that is more on the side of self. Yeah. But when I talk about the inner self, it's something more nature. Of course, ego is classified based on all the time in the books. Or the people says the ego is something that we should live off. Because with ego we think that we are the big. We are the greatest in this world. On the other hand, the ego could be something like your friend. Why shouldn't you say I am the greatest in this world? Why not? Or why shouldn't you do something for yourself to feel some pleasure? Why not? The main thing is that people sometimes they don't have the control on it. Yeah, that they are talking, and they don't have sometimes the feedback. They don't see it. Yeah. But on the other hand, when you say in the morning in front of your mirror, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, and what I'm gonna do, and I will do for benefit of others, and because I'm happy, I'm the greatest hypnotherapist on the world. Why not? Because this is how you can make your ego as your friend. Yeah, and it's not wrong. There's another case that you can go to someone and say, I'm the best, and repeat it many times. And calling this is not healthy. Yeah, but because the other person lost his interest. If for example, if your mission is to help others, and you need to feel that what you do is something very great, because you are great. So then do it and tell yourself, I am the greatest person in this world. Because this is how you can create the foundation for the inspiration, to be inspiration for others. Yeah. So in psychology, it's not that specific that that they say that the ego is something wrong. No. No. So in my practice, I'm more encourage people to feel that they ego. In practice of meditation, you will have to build up your ego. Because when you start, you don't know what's ego. When you start to meditate, you don't know many things. And you have many unhealthy habits. Yeah. And when you meditate, so you are building up your ego. And that's important for the freedom. Because one of the goal is the freedom and then enlightenment of the meditation. No, in specific meditations, not always. So, and then when you are really sure about your ego in the practice, so that's the time how we can dissolve. Without this experience, you can't. Yeah. So you need to know your ego exactly and have your ego as your friend. When you are somewhere, I don't know, on the dinner with someone, or when you are on some event, then you can do anything. You can go and tell everyone, okay, let's go and do this. Of course it's good, but it's your friend. Because you feel excited to do something. These people are extroverts, but it's inspirational for others. If you really will take this that ego is wrong and will take it into the core, you will not do this on that event. Because somebody said that ego is enemy. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very tricky because some people says you have to ignore your ego. Yeah, in some teachings. Some people says you have to ignore your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is how you're putting into it the force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how you're creating the energy for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Mm.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's good that when you will wake up tomorrow morning and you will look at your mirror, you can say, "Hi, ego.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pleased to see you."
I will do it.
Okay, perception of time. What exactly is future, present, and past? And why we are feeling it?
Mm.
So, I'm at this moment, I'm writing the book, The Mystery of My Life. And there, I'm talking about these perceptions. About what the future is, about the past. They're making these separations between these times, but in fact, the time is illusion. Can you imagine that there's no time? Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
But everything is basically according to time.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to be on time, you have to have some time management in your workplace. That's something that is necessary. But on the other hand, it's good to understand what is future for you. What is really future, what is really past. Because we can still, again, we can classify based on the efforts. So the future is something that make also the frustrations in us. Because we see sometimes, because we are focused on the future, we see that it's not possible to accomplish it based on the situation right now.
Yeah.
And in the past, you can say, okay, grew up in a family where nothing happened in order to accomplish the future. So, and that's why you're trying now again to make this future better, because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But when you will focus on the present moment, you will be connected with your source. You will enjoy more the present moment. And I told you that the present doesn't have end. Yeah?
Does that what?
Doesn't have end.
And,
Yeah, so what is more important? To build up the future, because that's how you will forget completely about the present. Or be in the present and have really every moment to joy. It's about paradise. Because in the future, okay, so you will accomplish, if you will be lucky, you will accomplish that you will have a great family, a great house, you will have the car, and amazing dog. But the thing is that you will always plan to the future.
Yeah.
You will never be in the present. You will never enjoy yourself. Yeah. So when you will have this, so you go upon, okay, so now I need in the future to go and travel out, to go somewhere and travel. And you will accomplish it, so you will think more again, okay, now I want this. So you will never enjoy that much powerfully how our potential is. The present moment all your accomplishments. And you will change this perception and will focus more on the present. So everything what you wish will happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense? Yeah.
Hopefully, everything I want will happen.
Yeah, but it's about the practice. Because when you will really enjoy yourself, so then everything what you will be in mind, it will be right now. Sometimes there is we need time. Yeah? But this means when you will enjoy yourself, you will attract more opportunities. You will be able to accomplish your wishes. Yeah? Because there won't be the separation. Yeah?
Okay.
And this is, I think, on the end, what Eckhart Tolle, which is someone very famous, I think everyone knows him. He said, when mind is directed inward, it realizes its own source and returns home into the unmanifested. And the other quote is from Celestine Focus, which is very nice inspiration for also in terms of mindfulness. In unconscious competition for energy underlies all conflicts. By dominating or manipulating others, we get the extra energy we think we need. Sure, it feels good, but both parties are damaged. In the conflict was created of traumas, you can build energy through contemplation and meditation. Focus on your basic life question and start reading a steady stream of intuitions, dreams, and synchronistic coincidences, all guiding you in the direction of your own evolution and transformation. So next time we will try also some exercises because there are very interesting exercises how you can bring your awareness into you. And also to say about my book, The Power of Mindfulness, and many things from mindfulness is in this book as well. Yeah. So you can buy it on Amazon. Thank you.
Thank you
for watching.